A dog's life begins with pure wonder. Imagine a newborn pup blinking against the light for the first time, ears still sealed, nose twitching as it maps a universe of scent. In those first fragile weeks, the mother is the sun and the people who cradle. The tiny body are planets that orbit close, warm, and safe. Every need, warmth, milk, and the gentle pressure of a heartbeat is met by another being, so the puppy's earliest lessons are built on trust. When the eyes finally open, the world floods in. A wobble across the blanket, a squeak of surprise, a tumble against a littermate. Each clumsy adventure teaches balance and boundary, even as small failures are cushioned by the softness of family. This is the stage when guidance matters most. A quiet voice that praises a cautious step, fingers that redirect sharp baby teeth toward a plush toy, daily routines that predict mealtime and potty breaks, these become the scaffolding for a lifetime of confidence. If patience rules the household, curiosity flowers. If chaos reigns, fear can take root. The puppy absorbs it all, storing the emotional blueprint that will guide choices long after puppy breath fades. A few months later, the innocent sponge turns into a teenager with something to prove. Hormones surge, teeth settle, limbs lengthen, and the brain crackles with new impulses. Suddenly, the pup who once hovered at your heel spots an open gate and bolts into the yard like a daredevil streaking toward freedom. Chew marks appear on chair legs that survived the teething phase, and commands that used to bring instant compliance now earn a slow blink and a saucy grin. Beneath the mischief is a natural quest for independence. Adolescent dogs test rules, not out of spite but to gather data. Is the rule consistent every time? Does calm behavior still earn affection? Will a frustrated shout replace yesterday's gentle cue? This is the season to double down on clarity, to offer brisk walks that drain volcanic energy, to sprinkle puzzle feeders throughout the day so the mind works as hard as the legs. Structured play turns rebellion into resilience. When the dog steals a sock, trade up with a squeaky ball rather than launching into a chase that rewards the theft. When a recall is ignored, retreat to shorter distances. Rebuild success with lavish praise, then stretch the distance again. Soon the adolescent realizes freedom is granted more often to dogs who return when called, and the tug-of-war between willfulness and wisdom begins to tip in your favor. By the second or third year, body and mind find equilibrium. The dog wakes, with purpose, stretches in a practiced yoga bow and scans the house for signs of the day's rhythm. Walk, breakfast, nap, patrol the yard, greet the mail carrier with a polite tail wag. Routine anchors, confidence. Impulse control has matured, so the tennis ball waits untouched until you say, "Okay," and the doorbell no longer triggers a hurricane of barking. This is the golden window for partnership. Agility courses, scent work games, therapy dog visits. To nursing homes, anything that taps the dog's keen desire to collaborate will deepen the bond you forged during those chaotic earlier years. Communication becomes nearly telepathic. A raised eyebrow asks, "Is it time?" And a subtle nod answers, "Almost." Emotional sensitivity peaks as well. If you sigh after a long phone call, a head rests on your knee before you even register your sadness. If you dance across the kitchen with good news, paws prance beside you, sharing the joy. The dog's loyalty during this mature stage feels effortless, yet it is the cumulative result of every patient lesson, every fair boundary, every ounce of empathy you invested. Inevitably, grey hairs dust the muzzle and stamina dwindles. The senior dog's trot becomes a measured stroll, joints stiffen on cool mornings, and naps stretch a little longer. What once required a 4-mile hike for satisfaction can now be achieved with a leisurely amble around the block, followed by a puzzle toy that dispenses kibble one gentle nudge at a time. Wisdom glows in those cloudy eyes. The dog has seen thunderstorms, fireworks, babies learning to crawl, furniture rearranged, vacations and homecomings. And through it all, one truth endured. You were there. Security in old age depends on familiarity, so keep the water bowl in the same corner, the bed near the heater vent, the toy basket within easy reach of creaky legs. Health checks grow more frequent, blood panels to track organ function, dental, cleanings to guard against infection, pain medication calibrated to keep arthritis from eclipsing joy. Above all, savor the slow moments, stroke the velvet ear that once twitched at every field mouse, count the breaths rising and falling beneath a graying coat, whisper gratitude for the thousands of steps taken at your side. Across these stages, the dog's psyche ripens like fruit on a vine, shaped by genetics, environment, and, most powerfully, by the quality of human interaction. In puppyhood, you are teacher and protector. In adolescence, you become coach and boundary keeper. In adulthood, you serve as teammate and confidant. In old age, you transform into caretaker and chronicler, preserving stories only the two of you share. Successful guardianship means adjusting your expectations as the brain reorganizes, as hormones surge then settle, as muscles strengthen and finally soften. What stays constant is your commitment to meet the dog where it is each day. Meeting A. Puppy where it is means kneeling to the floor, presenting a treat-laden hand, praising curiosity, and redirecting mistakes with calm repetition. It means socializing widely yet carefully. Puppy classes, car rides, visits to friendly neighbors, so the world expands before fear can shrink it. Meeting an adolescent where it is means channeling chaos into jobs, retrieving tossed toys, scenting, out hidden chews, mastering parkour-like leaps over fallen logs. It demands consistency, every counter-surfing attempt blocked, every polite sit rewarded, until the brain wires itself for self-control. Meeting an adult dog where it is means offering outlets for mastery, advanced tricks, volunteer work, off-leash hiking where recall shines. It involves trusting the dog's judgment, letting it navigate muddy trails or greet a polite stranger without micromanagement. Meeting a senior where it is means slowing your pace, placing a ramp beside the couch, warming meals, massaging stiff hips, and accepting that a shorter walk still counts if it ends with both of you seated on a park bench watching clouds drift. Throughout all stages, communication rides on non-verbal cues. Relaxed ears and a loose tail spell contentment. A yawn during training often signals stress, not fatigue. Lip-licking without food nearby can mean worry. A play bow invites chase. A stiff bow with hackles raised signals uncertainty. Recognize these nuances, and you prevent trouble before it starts. If a visitor overwhelms your shy pup, intervene early rather than scolding a growl later. If thunder cracks and the adolescent dives under the bed, pull out a snuffle mat sprinkled with treats to turn terror into foraging fun. Listen with your eyes, and your dog will learn to speak more clearly. Positive reinforcement is the through line that stitches puppy kisses to senior size. Reward what you like. 4 paws on the floor, calm acceptance of grooming, polite leash manners, so those behaviors bloom. Ignore or redirect what you don't, because attention, even negative, can reinforce chaos. When a teething pup bites your fingers, offer a chilled rope toy instead, then celebrate the correct choice. When a bored adult digs a crater, bury approved. Treasures in a sandbox, so digging becomes a sanctioned sport. Behavior is information, not an insult. View it with curiosity, and solutions emerge. The payoff for this mindful stewardship is profound. You gain a companion who trusts strangers because you socialized kindly, who returns when called because you made come the gateway to delight, who rests its head in your lap during chemo treatments because you once rested your hand on its crate through a restless night. You also gain insight into patience, compassion, and resilience, virtues dogs teach better than any human mentor. In a world that changes at dizzying speed, the rhythm of a life shared with a dog grounds you in seasons. Puppy breath. Adolescent. Rebellion. Adult vigor. Silvered grace. Take a moment now to recall your own dog's timeline. Perhaps you're living with a zooming teenager. Perhaps a dignified elder snores gently at your feet. What does your companion need from you at this exact milepost? More play and structure, more puzzle toys and joint supplements, a slower pace and softer bed? Identify one small adjustment to make this week, then observe the response. Tiny tweaks. Compound, just as they did when your dog first learned sit or stay.